Hi everyone, Jill DiArpino here with Aftermath of Suicide. This is my part two of my Jeff Bezos, the coronavirus, and how the wealthy can help the people in the United States. And you know what's really interesting is, let me fix this here. What's interesting is I couldn't believe the responses that I got from so many people. I ran two ads, one on my Instagram page, which is called Aftermath of Suicide, as well as my Facebook page, the same name. And it reached over 12,000 people, and my YouTube channel reached almost 900. So that was pretty cool, being that I'm just starting out there. So it was interesting that I asked, what people thought. And boy, people here are angry with the wealthy. They don't believe that they care about anybody but themselves, that they don't want to see us succeed so that we're all dependent on them. People didn't have a whole lot of good to say about Bill Gates. And so it was just interesting, and I did want to follow up with my part two because I found this to be kind of funny. People said, you know what, that sounds great, and you might be a good counselor, and I'm not a counselor, I'm a mental health advocate, but you're not a mathematician. So, because my numbers didn't figure out. And the point was, for my video, part one, was to just give you an idea of the wealth that's out there, an idea of what could really happen if they chose to help us. And when I say us, I don't mean the government. I mean help us as citizens, help us, those that are failing in their business, that are going to lose their business, that a single parent can't afford to feed their child. Suicide is up, mental illness is up, child abuse, spousal abuse, drug addiction. I just heard on the news the other day from a doctor that said that in the last 30 days, suicide has reached what it reaches in a year. And as a parent that has lost a child to suicide, I cannot tell you how sick to my stomach I am when I think about how catastrophic this COVID virus is affecting this country. And I mean beyond deaths. Okay, we haven't even begun to see the devastation. So I did my homework. I'm going to put on my glasses because I can't see. This is what happens when you get old. I did my homework, and so I want you to hear these stats. I really broke it down. So for those of you analyticals out there that were picking on me, and I'm okay with that. Believe me, after you've lost a child, you can take anything. So based on the CARES Act, okay, the IRS delivered 150 million stimulus checks to individuals. 150 million stimulus checks. The government spent 158 billion with a B, billion dollars, which is our debt to pay off, and our kids. You guys know that, right? This isn't free money. We're going to pay that. That's our debt. 88% of people make $75,000 or less per year in this country. The net worth of more than 300 million, the net worth of people that have a net worth of 300 million or more, based on the Huron Global Rich List of 2020. There's a lot of people, okay? So there's 29,100 people in the United States worth between 100 million to 300 million, okay? The top 10 U.S. billionaires net worth is $634 billion. That's just the top 10. In that top 10 isn't even the Walmart kids or the candy bar Mars, heirs, or, geez, Sheldon Adelson, who owns the Venetian and the Sands in Las Vegas. He's worth 35 billion. He's not even in the top 10. Oprah, by the way, isn't even in the top 20. She's only worth 3.7 billion only. She doesn't even quite cut it. Okay. I mean, I don't mean to laugh because God bless these people. I mean, many of them worked hard, and many of them, I didn't say all of them, some of them, inherited this, and I also want to state again that they don't owe us anything and they give plenty and generously. But I did do some research also as to why do rich people and the wealthy give to charities, foundations, charities of their choice in their name, museums, hospital wings, okay? There's a great amount of tax deduction, something called a 501c4, that these people get a lot of tax deductions for doing this kind of giving back, so to speak. So I know that the government would give them the same type of tax benefit, or there would be nothing in it for them to want to help us. For them to help us, the government wouldn't incur debt, we wouldn't incur the debt, and the wealthy actually can become heroes. Think about that. It's a win-win for everybody. And when you really think about the wealth here, and then there's such poverty and homeless people and drug addiction and people sleeping, in their cars. And it's so sad to me. So very sad. So if every one of those people I mentioned that are worth over 100 million could give 270,000 to every household, and they could easily do that. Many of their cars are worth that. So you could do your own math and, look up these stats, but there's a lot of wealth in this country, and I'm not talking about over $2 trillion worth that's offshore, sitting there. And why it's sitting there is because it's tax free. So if we could get them to bring their money back to help out and the government give them a tax break here to do so, again, it's a win-win for everyone. So let me know what you think on my Facebook page. If you'd like to be a part of me there, you can like my page. Also subscribe to me here at YouTube and at my website, aftermathofsuicide.com. You might be thinking, why is someone that really has a website named Aftermath of Suicide doing something of a video like this? And that's because the bottom line is this COVID is truly affecting people mentally. 1 in 4 people suffer with a mental disorder, and untreated depression is the #1 cause of suicide. You know someone right now that suffers with a mental disorder. So please do your part and help those that could use a phone call until you can hug them again. Reach out to them, and I'm really scared for this country. I'm scared, and I'm very saddened to see the state that we're in now based on what it was just like as of January and the prior year. So it's going to take us a while to dig ourselves out. But again, the wealthy could really help everything just like that. So again, until I'm back on, which I do every week, stay well and be kind to one another.